जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining and welcome back. And today we are discussing verse number 40 of chapter number 1 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And in the previous verse, Arjuna gives the reason of destruction of family. And that was his reason he doesn't want to fight. And that was the fourth reason. And he basically said that, by fighting this war, the family or the dynasty is going to get destroyed. And when the family is destroyed or the dynasty is destroyed, then the family traditions which were followed from long time, they will also get destroyed. And when the family traditions will get destroyed, the religion will go down and irreligion will go up, or irreligion will be prevailing in the society. It becomes prominent in the society. So he continues discussing the same point of what happens further when irreligion becomes prominent in the society. So Arjuna says, Adharma abhibhavat Krishna Pradushanti kule striya Strishu dustasu varshneya Jayate varna shankaraha. He's saying Adharma abhibhavat Krishna. Oh Krishna, the adharma when becomes predominant, then what happens? Pradushanti kulastriya. The kulastriya or women in the family, they become corrupt or they become exploited. And when they becomes exploited or when they get exploited, then the Varna Shankara will take birth, or people of low mental caliber, they will take birth, unwanted progeny. That is one Varna Shankara, unwanted progeny will appear in the society. So Prabhupada translates this as, when irreligion is prominent in the family, oh Krishna, the women of the family becomes polluted, and from the degradation of the womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny. So there's a very important point that has been brought over here by Arjuna. So let's discuss what Srila Prabhupada has to say in this purport. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada first brings the point of Varnashram system. Why the Varnashram system was established by Krishna. In 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Chatur Varna Maya system Guna Karma Vibhagasa. So this Chatur Varna means 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas. Varnashram means Varna and Ashrama. We discussed this point in the last session. But basically this Varnashram system has a purpose. And what is a purpose? It's given in this purport. Good population in human society is the basic principle for peace, prosperity and spiritual progress of life. So this is the goal of why a society is formed. So in the human society, in the human life, it is possible to understand about the Lord. That is not possible in any other life. So Krishna then designs this Varnashram system. He started himself on the basis of guna and karma. Guna means quality and karma means actions. So on the basis of these two, not on the basis of janma karma, but on the basis of guna and karma. So that's the reason this system, based on the quality which the soul has in this particular life, he falls under certain varna or certain ashrama. And then the person can make his or begin or continue his spiritual journey. So that's why the system was designed. So the word dharma is there. We discussed about that word dharma in the previous session. That dharma it's sometimes translated as duty or religion, but it has more understanding to that. And the understanding is that dharma is something which is inseparable from the living entity or from whatever object we are trying to define dharma for. For example, dharma of a sugar is sweet. So you cannot separate sweetness from sugar. Similarly, the dharma of a fire is being hot. So you cannot separate heat from the fire. So similarly, the soul has a dharma, and that dharma of that soul is actually eternal. So the eternal dharma of the soul is called as paradharma, or higher level dharma, and the bodily dharma is aparadharma, or lower level of dharma. So the paradharma, all of us being soul, has a same duty. So let's read the meaning of this. So duties which take into account the person's spiritual or constitutional identity as a soul, and thus is same for everyone. So what is that duty? What is the paradharma of the soul? That is to love and serve God. That is the dharma of a soul. Now when the soul acquires a body, then the soul has a dharma according to the body, or the duties that needs to be performed according to its nature, in which it is existing now. So duties performed according to one's material or conditional nature and specific to individual at that particular time. So soul keeps on migrating from one body to another. So it takes a body in certain family, and then based on the place, and circumstances where it has taken the birth, then the soul will have accordingly a dharma. And there are different kinds of dharmas, as we have discussed that, in the previous session we discussed there is a kula dharma, then there is a varna dharma, there is ashram dharma, then there are samanya dharma, then there is a Vayashti dharma, Rashtra dharma, Jati dharma, Nimitta dharma, Stri dharma, so all there are different categories of dharma, right? So the soul, when they follow this dharma, then they make spiritual progress, because this dharma is actually given by the Lord Himself. So the Varnashram's religious principles were so designed that a good population would prevail in the society for general spiritual progress of state and community. So this was the purpose of Varnashrama. It was designed to take the population in the society and make them spiritual. So it was spiritual centric. These dharmas were all spiritual centric. So in order to make the society or human society as spiritual centric, it is very important to have good progeny, right? Good children. So that's a very important function, and the dynasty needs to continue. So this was a very important responsibility of a human being in a life, right? And in order to fulfill that, to have good progeny, then one need to have a good marriage. Means you need to get married to a girl coming from a very good family. So this was very important. And when the Kshatriyas were all killed in the battlefield, so the Kshatriyas are the protectors of the society. But if the Kshatriyas are killed, then what happens? The unscrupulous men, they assume power. So when unscrupulous men assume power, by their nature, what they do, they try to exploit women. And when they exploit women, what happens? That unwanted progeny are born. They are called as Varna Shankara. Now, what is the meaning of unwanted progeny? Means, is it unwanted child? So today's day and age, when you have these abortions done, so is it meaning like abortion or aborting a child or something like that? So no, it is not that. It's not a failure of birth control. No, it's not like that. But unwanted progeny means progeny that has degraded mindset. So their consciousness of the soul which has taken the body is very low or very degraded. So that is the meaning of the Varna Shankara. The Varna Shankara means they have a very, very, very low consciousness. And with lower consciousness, it becomes very, very difficult to fix them. That is the problem with the lower consciousness. So why this happens? So why a child is born with lower consciousness? So the solution to that was given in the varnashram system, that when the childbirth takes place, before the childbirth takes place, there is a samskara which is done. Samskara means purificatory process. So in the previous session we discussed about samskara and that is there are 16 major samskaras and 40 total samskaras given in Manusmriti. And before the childbirth, the parents have to go through something called as Garbhadan Samskara, which is here. So before the birth, the first samskara is Garbhadan Samskara. So when Garbhadan Samskara is performed, and when the child is conceived, then a soul which is attracted in the womb of the mother has a very high consciousness. So that is the reason this Garbhadan Samskara was performed. But somebody is having a child without Garbhadan Samskara, then what happens? Then the consciousness of the soul is determined by the consciousness of the couple during intercourse. So normally, what will be the status of their mind, or what will the consciousness of the couple? So they will be completely in the mode of passion. And when the parents are in the mode of passion, a passionate soul will be attracted in the womb. Right? So this is what happens if the samskara is not done. A passionate soul will get attracted and a passionate soul will be born. So this is what we are discussing over here, that when the varnashram system is followed, then people go through this purificatory process. And when they go through the purificatory process, then a soul with high consciousness is attracted in the womb of the mother. And this is how a good child is born. So then training given to the child becomes very easy. And that child will follow all the systems of the varnashram dharma. And this is how all the dynasty keeps on going. So here Arjuna, we saw that Arjuna is calling Krishna as Varshneya. So the meaning of that is, Varshneya means you are from the Vrishni dynasty. So you understand the importance of dynasty. So Arjuna is saying that when adharma becomes prominent, and then when irreligion basically will become prominent in the society, then the women will be exploited. And when the women will be exploited, then the Varnashamkaras will be born. So you understand the importance of having a good society, a good human society where the people are culturally trained. So you should understand that's why we should not engage in this war. That's the whole point Arjuna is trying to tell Krishna. So let's see what is the next point Srila Prabhupada brings over here. So the next point is about importance of chastity in women. So in order to have a good society, we need to have women who are chaste. So Prabhupada says, such population depends on the chastity and faithfulness of its womanhood. So women has to be faithful. As children are very prone to be misled, normally children can be easily tricked. Women are similarly very prone to degradation. So this is what Prabhupada is saying here. Therefore, both children and women require protection by the elder members of the family. So it is said that the women, when they are child or when they are in the adulthood, then they are protected by their father. And when in their youth, basically youth of their life, not youth actually, the prime time of their life, they get married and then they are protected by the husband. And then when the husband retires and takes sannyas, then at that time the woman is protected by the children. So she is always under protection. And why it is needed? Because the protection is needed for the purpose of helping basically when something we have a very important thing in our life, like for example in our home we have this gold or diamond. So something which is very precious or very important, we actually protect it. So the protection over here means protection of that type. because women is very important for society in general to run smoothly. For the whole system which Krishna has designed, if it has to run smoothly, then the women needs to be protected. So that's why Prabhupada says, yes, therefore both children and women requires protection by the elder members of the family. By being engaged in various religious practices, women will not be misled into adultery. So when they follow all the rules and regulations or all the religious practices which is there in given in the Varnashram system, so then they are engaged into those systems. They are following that every day and day in and day out. So then they know the importance of being chaste. So then they are not misled into adultery. But if this knowledge is not given, right? If the knowledge is not given, then there's a chance that they can get unchaste. So the next point Prabhupada is saying. So this is what we have discussed so far. So elder members of the family responsible for purifying processes in the family from birth to death. They are responsible for doing all those purificatory process. But if they die, then the younger member becomes irreligious because these processes are not followed. Then the younger members become irreligious and the generation will lose the chance for spiritual salvation, right? And when young member becomes irreligious or irreligion becomes prominent in the society, what happens? Woman becomes polluted, again gives rise to unwanted progeny or Varnashankara. And Varnashankara means progeny with degraded mindset or consciousness of the soul is degraded. And this point, the risk of war and pestilence is discussed towards the end of the purport. And here Prabhupada says that women and children need to be protected, and for the good population depends on faithfulness and chastity of a woman. So these are the points which we already discussed. And in the last paragraph, Prabhupada says, as per Chanakya Pandit, according to Chanakya Pandit, what happens? Women are generally not very intelligent and therefore not trustworthy. So this is according to Chanakya Pandit. So the different family traditions of religious activities should always engage them. So they need to be engaged in the Varnashram system. And thus the chastity and devotion will give birth to good population eligible for participating in the Varnashram system. So again, the center point is the Varnashram system. In order for this system to run, and the final goal is what? The final goal is this spiritual journey of or the soul needs to be engaged into spiritual life. And the whole system is designed for that purpose. And women play a very significant part. So on failure of such Varnashram dharma, naturally the women becomes free to act and mix with men. And thus adultery is indulged in at the risk of unwanted population. So if they are not protected, and if the Kshatriyas, as we discussed earlier, they are killed, then there is no protection for the women. So then this Varnashram system will not be followed. Irresponsible men also provoke adultery in the society, and thus unwanted children flood the human race at the risk of war and pestilence. So once this system is in place, and if it is not properly executed, and one of the important part of this execution is, one of the part is the Kshatriyas, because they protect and they do not allow the irreligion to be followed. So if the Kshatriyas are dead, Arjuna is saying that irreligion will become prominent, and then women will be exploited by unscrupulous men, and adultery will be there in the society, and then unwanted children will be born. And then finally, when the unwanted children are born, then there is a risk of war and all kind of diseases in the society. So with this, we'll stop here, and Arjuna will continue further discussing the point. So actually there are 6 steps which Arjuna is discussing. So of when the fighting will cause family destruction in the following 6-step sequence. The first one was death of elderly, and then because of the death of elderly was family tradition stops and irreligious will increase. That was verse number 39. And in the 40th verse is saying women will get polluted, and then Varna Shankara will be, or unwanted progeny will be born. And there are 2 more points which will be discussed in the next verse. So with this we'll stop here, and we'll continue our discussion on the same topic in the next session. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shrimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Bol.